drop of blood, and then Europe was supposed to develop to their own level of greatness so that they can have their name in the history books. This was supposed to be done as Greeks, but they were sacked by Rome and raped by Rome, figuratively and literally. Figuratively and literally. All of this stuff is verifiable and will be verified with the facts in written form and video format. I'm going to do all of this work to show y'all. Now, I did a lot of work to get where I'm at now because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I did a whole lot of research, investigation for a long time to find out why are we suffering like we are. I did the work. I got some more work now. While the imposters are being weeded out, they're going to all be sent to Dana White to get in that cage. And the people they directly undermine are going to pick who they get to fight with. If they lose, then we're going to send them out to the gallows. We're going to send them out to the gallows, sever their heads. Because you can't do people like that. Mama say you can't throw people away like trash, and I agree. And everybody out in Acts agree the same way. Even the ones I thought was inherently wicked say, nah, man, you can't just throw people away. But what are we doing? Look around you in the streets.
It is for my rituals. I have checks that I write, and then, you know, I put the amount on it, then I burn it. So this is one of the check amounts. What? Do they got it paused for y'all? Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. They had it paused for me. And then the amounts just go higher and higher. So 15, then we got 150. And these are for my friends. One is 175,000, and then the other one is 101,500.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally it's like, it's not just me doing it just to do it. It's sincerely, like, I do it for my friends. I do it for my YouTube subscribers. So I call my YouTube subscribers Rainicorns. So I have written, literally my subscribers, I've written Rainicorns 2 checks so far. And literally I did it. I didn't like do a whole video and be like, hey, you guys, I'm going to do this. It was like, hey guys, I did this thing. How are y'all feeling? Did you feel the results from it? And literally I had the check written and dated April 18th. And a whole bunch on the video commented and said, I actually did get money on April 18th. Yeah, I did get money and stuff like that. With all that going on, I'm just that, you know, my life's going well, and I'm making things better for other people too, and that everybody like around me has a great life. Like, I'm genuinely happy about that.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's that mother energy. Because you want all of your kids. Look, you want all your children to have a good life. You don't want one of them to have a good life and the other one to have a bad life.
Right.
Right? You want all of them to have a good life. Now, some of them might be some assholes. They steal your babies, and you still want them to have a good life.
Hey, that's true. No, that's true. Like, literally, like you said with the child analogy, it's like that with people in general, right? So, like, me, I don't have to be emotionally tied to a person for me to still treat them right. I don't have to like you in order for me to do what needs to be done. People have had jobs. People have had jobs. You have a coworker. You've had a coworker that you don't like, but you still work with them because that's what you get paid to do. So my job literally being here is to be the vessel to say certain things. Whether I like you or not, I still got to get my job done. My reward doesn't come from you. It doesn't come from anybody else besides, you know who? Big Mama. Exactly. So it's like, when I look to the Most High for whatever I need, and I don't really have to care about what other people feel, it makes my job that much easier. It's just people let emotions and feelings get in the way of the mission.
You know, your emotions is just supposed to be your navigation system. Most of us don't know that. So that's why when you get stuck in the emotion, that's like being stuck in the change oil light on your car. If you keep watching that just because it's blinking, you're going to crash.
No, because why did I buy car oil today? Oh no, that's lit. That's lit. I love that. But I love that analogy too. Your analogy, you really have the best analogies. You break things down to where people can understand it, of course, and then you break it down to where they can relate it to something that happens in everyday life.
Yeah, because that's the easiest thing for them to relate to.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. And now I just been up here talking. How are you? I'm not. You're not gonna do that. Just go get away. We're not telling me how you are.
Hey, look, Ellie, your energy is like uplifting energy. Like, the people in the comments can even feel it. You know, so it's always a pleasure to have you around. So I just
I
let you do your thing.
uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna ignore my question though.
Okay, what's the question?
How are you? Oh my goodness. I want to
I
know.
answered that
Like,
first.
you said
I
what?
told you I was good.
No. I'm not just gonna like accept that as the answer. I'm gonna need some details. How was your week last week? How was your weekend?
You know, on the weekend, the big event was I did the video with Black Magic 363 on YouTube, and was able
That's cool.
to answer a
That's really
lot
cool.
of questions and put a lot of information out on there. I think the hardest thing for people at this point to understand is creation is fluid. It's happening in real time. Tomorrow not here yet. In order for
I hear yet.
tomorrow to get here, we got to manifest tomorrow.
Exactly.
It's a
Exactly.
collective manifestation. That's why we all know we're gonna wake up tomorrow, because we creating that shit in real time. Right? And some of the creators can see it in wave form, so they see a flat earth.
Mm.
And some of the creators see it in particle form, so they see a round earth. They don't make now one of them right or wrong, it just make them have a different view.
Okay.
They at a different level of creativity in their psyche. Right? So it's like you can't expect a high school or junior high school basketball player to compete with LeBron James right now. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right? But if you give him the time and you help him to develop, he'll be able to play in the league with the best of the best. Right? So the creator's learning how to create. You have to see it in every phase.
Right.
Right? So at your level, you might not be able to see over the infinite plane of the mind, because that's where the infinite plane is. In order to see past the infinite plane, you have to see through the slits, right? And when you see through the slits, you see in the particle, and the particle is solidified creation. This is when we have a round earth, because we're dealing with particles now. We no longer dealing with waves. And then you got some that can see it in the middle. It's a wavicle, right? So if, like they say, if we on an infinite plane, what's holding it up?
Right.
Right? But the only way it can be infinite if it's the product of the mind. The mind don't have a limit. So you can't put a limit on what the mind can perceive. Right? But soon as somebody put a limit on it, that's an agreed upon manifestation of that part of creation.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Like the concept of heaven.
Yeah. That's Earth is heaven when we get the
Yeah.
imposters out.
The How's this? Mm-mm.
It has to happen that way though, right? Because we got to be able to see the deceiver when the deceiver coming, and then we got to be able to show you how they was giving out the deception. And then once you can see it, it doesn't work for them no more. They can't trick nobody no more. They game exposed now.
That's how they are right now. Like you were saying earlier about the finances and stuff and everything crashing. Yeah, people figured it out. So once it got figured out, there's no use for it anymore.
Right. So once it runs its course is over.
Right.
Yeah. So before the invasion, women didn't have to wear no clothes if they didn't want to. They wasn't getting raped. What
Sad.
they call today primitive cultures. The women don't have to wear no clothes. They ain't getting raped unless it's somebody from outside of their community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the difference. That's what we're trying to get back to the beginning, back to the haven called Earth instead of the hell called Earth.
Mm. It's like, okay, when you say it like that, that kind of reminds me of what they call it, the 3D, 5D split. I just say the dimensions merging at the same time. It's them separating themselves. So it's like you have the hell version of heaven and the heaven version of heaven. Would you say that all correlates?
So what happens is this: the 3D world, we want it to be here so we can experience finding our balance. The part we didn't want in the 3D world was the upsetting of the balance by the imposters. They came in and threw a monkey wrench in the good working program.
Right.
Because with that, they enslaved everybody. Right? Now, we at the part where they got to find somewhere to be because they can't stay here. And we go back to as it was in the beginning. And it's the close of the age, so shall it be in the end. So in order to close out the age, you got to take it back to the beginning, back to its purest nature.
Mm. Mm. That makes a lot of sense. And I guess that's like one of the reasons why, like, the way that things are working now with the mix of generations, I'm seeing it's really a mix of things. It'll be like generation X and Y, they're onto certain things because they understand, oh, flip flop. This is what we did in the Matrix. This is how we're doing it when we're more spiritual and in tune. Versus it's like generation Z, and then I'm seeing like the babies and stuff, generation Alpha. It's more like this
I'm
is
glad you
just the
brought
way
up.
that this goes.
I'm glad you brought up Generation Z. Right,
Hey.
because Generation Z, when you go through the alphabet, what's the last letter?
Z. According to this alphabet.
Look, in the Greek
Yeah.
alphabet, it's Omicron.
Ooh,
Omicron
okay.
is the small o for the omega. Omega. Remember, from alpha to omega. That means from beginning to end.
Okay. Yeah.
From A to O. But in English, it's not A to O, it's A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
And now we on Generation Z. Well, what would make them call this Generation Z?
It's the last one. That's it.
The
Well,
gig is
it's
up.
okay. It's yeah, like it's wrapping up their series of generations that they had. Then the fact that they made the next one Alpha, then the one after Alpha is gonna be Omega. I don't think they have a name for the one that's supposed to be after that, but it is what it is. I'm Gen Z. My son's Generation Alpha. His child, well, depending on how things go, because whatever. But the next kids, they will be Generation Omega.
Because
That's
now
it.
they going backwards. They going backwards with the alphabet. They done exhausted the English alphabet. Now they have to go backwards to the Greek. Because the English alphabet is derived
Mm,
from the Greek alphabet.
mm,
Right? So when we say alphabet, we saying alpha, beta. That's 2 Greek letters.
right.
Right? So it's called the alpha beta system. The alpha beta system is from alpha to omega in Greek, but it's from A to Z in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that the way that they deceive us is with vowels, the interchanging of vowels in translation, and that's how they can use a term like more as a all-inclusive term for varying different groups of people. And we have to identify the ones that's us, the good more. It was. And that's the fear of the old system. But it got to go down. The old system has to fall for the new system to rise.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They said they fucking with the live. Doesn't surprise
Oh
me.
yeah, it was cracking up. It was. I heard that last good sentence 100% clearly. Before that, it was choppy.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let you drop down, Ellie. I'm gonna take another caller before I go.
All right then. Peace and
Thank you
unity
for
to
coming
you.
on.
I love you
I love
for
you too.
sure.
How you doing, brother?
What's going on with you? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, discernment. Call me Dub, but I'm up here in Tacoma, Washington.
For sure. Far West.
Yeah. But yeah, but you hit home on something earlier. You made me think, and when the other guy was on talking to you, and he said connect with your tribe, and I had never thought about that as far as the area I was born in, and so I just remember the name Cahokia was always was it always was a name or that stood out to me as a youngster, and and so I'm like, what can you tell me on that? Because I'm like,
That word
I know you that you. Mhm.
that word is properly pronounced Hayoka. The Hayoka is the priest. For that to be tapping on your door, that would mean that you come from the priest line.
Are you breaking up there? They don't want me to hear this, Rob.
Did you hear any of what I said?
They ain't want me to hear none of that, Rob. I already know how they do. It was like it's I knew that before you even pulled me up, because it was a surprise that you pulled me up, and I was like, oh, okay, see, that's just Big Mama talking, because my cat came to the door, and then next thing I know I was on with you, and I was like, hey, Big Mama, because I was like, I need to get out there and get some sunlight, you know. So
Yeah,
I already know.
I was telling you that word is properly pronounced as Hayoka. And the Hayoka is
Hayoka.
our way. Those were our high priests. They didn't live in the village with the rest of the people. They lived out. They called him the medicine man. And because he gets so much energy reads, he can't stay in close proximity to a lot of people. Am I describing you?
Hey, you hitting home, cause so I had this and it come to me in a dream. and I end up making it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, copper
you,
unk.
so you really touching me right now.
Yeah, your energy. I can see your energy causing your electronics to malfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you walk barefoot on the dirt?
Yes. Hey, that's one of my things. So my OG, my mom, she ascended on November 1st, right? So I went back to Wisconsin, you know, where everybody is, and they're like, you just gonna walk around here like that with the slides on? And cause I'm like, cause I like to wear slides so I can, if I see some grass, some dirt, some rocks or something, you know, I could ground for a little bit. I'm gonna do it. So you walk around like that all the time, and it's like it's about to snow, and I'm like, well, whatever Big Mama going through, I have to go through too. So, hey, it is what it is, you know.
Hey, so you know, then that also activates stuff in your DNA. You know, so yeah, so it's a natural. You a natural. So study all of the spirit information you can get your hands on, especially Vadum.
And say the pronunciation again.